welcome to my podcast, Everything Outdoors Oregon. That's right, I am here to talk about everything outdoors Oregon. Not just fishing, not just hunting, not just camping, not just crabbing, but just everything that we are so fortunate to have here in the state of Oregon to do outside, and so many great seasons and so many fun things to do to keep families together out recreating, whether you hunt, fish, crab, pick mushrooms, camp, hike, whatever. There's just so many things. So as I started to think about doing this podcast, I thought, what would be a great idea to do this on? Of course, for those of you that know me, I have quite a background in fishing, as I was a licensed guide for quite a few years here in the state of Oregon. Um, but I just thought, I don't want to just hone in on one topic. I want to just kind of broaden the spectrum and just talk everything outdoors Oregon. So here we go. Today, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Trevor Smith, native Oregonian, born in Pendleton, Oregon, in the early 70s, and born into a family that was just loaded with outdoorsmen. I was very blessed, very fortunate to get to experience so many great hunting trips and fishing trips and camping and not just the trips, but gosh, we caught, and we shot and we we did all the things. So therefore, we fortunate enough to make some amazing meals out of some of this wild game that we were able to take out of our great outdoors here in Oregon. So, um, with that being said, I just feel like this was a really great time in my life to share with people, share some stories, share some techniques, some hows, some whys, whens, wheres, all the things that go with everything we've got right here in Oregon. So, today, just like I said, just an introduction. Uh, Born and raised in Pendleton. Uh, Man, I'll tell you what, I had the best of the best in the years I was in Pendleton. We had amazing hunting, we had amazing fishing, and everything was within walking distance for the most part for me. Um, I was able to just kind of wander free. I lived 7 miles outside of town and we just kind of wandered free. Mom and dad didn't worry about somebody abducting us and horrible things happen like unfortunately we have to worry about today. We just our playground went for miles. So we took advantage of that, my brothers and sister and I, and just had a lot of fun growing up out there. And then, about the time I was 13, 14 years old, moved to the Willamette Valley here to Salem, where I currently reside. And boy, that was kind of a tough time because I thought, oh no, my outdoor life is over. I don't know anything about this over here. I didn't know if it existed, if hunting existed west of the Cascade Mountain Range. I didn't know if fishing existed west of the Cascade Mountain Range. But yeah, it does, and it did, and it still does, and I've met some of the most amazing people, made some wonderful friends that were involved in hunting and fishing, and it was just about learning some new stuff and some new places, and I just really feel fortunate to have moved to this side of the state and kind of well diversed me, if you will, so I feel like now I know everything. Not everything, nobody knows everything, but I know a lot of things, I would say, from the coast all the way to the east side of the state, over to the Snake River, and have been able to experience everything from catching crappie and channel cats on the Snake River to limits of Dungeness crab and trolling for coho in the ocean or Chinooks or jigging up lingcod and rockfish and such. So, just such a diverse state. We almost have this Cascade Mountain Range as almost like our own little personal continental divide. It's like as soon as you cross that summit up there and head down the east slope, everything changes. You go from you know, your Roosevelt elk on the west side and your black-tailed deer, you slip over the other side of the mountain, and now you got your mule deer and your white-tailed deer and your Rocky Mountain bull elk, and or not just bulls, but obviously elk in general. So um, just really fortunate to have been able to live on both sides of this state, and still have friends and family over there, to where we can go back and get involved in some really good hunting and fishing as well at times, you know. But for right now, I just wanted to introduce myself and my podcast, Everything Outdoors Oregon. I plan on doing this on a weekly basis, and I'm not 100% sure right now what I'm going to come up with for my topic for my first, or excuse me, my second episode after today's introduction. Uh, but it'll be fun, you know. We may talk what's currently going on, you know, which is spring Chinook fishing. You know, here we are, middle of April, tax day, by the way, and you know, we may just dive right in head first into the deep end of spring Chinook fishing, which is you know, a favorite to many, and one of the most amazing table fare fish that we have available to us here in Oregon. So that may be episode 2, excuse me, and then we'll just see, you know. But I want to have fun with this. This is going to be something that I've been excited about for quite a while. I've built my little set back here behind me, as you can see, from some critters that I've collected over the years, and you know, some rods and reels and just different things, you know. So I plan to, just like I said, just dive into a little bit of everything, and just enjoy this. So I want you to enjoy the ride with me. And if, you know, hopefully I can figure the technology out. I've done a lot. I've done a lot of researching on what it takes to do a podcast, and they say the biggest thing that people run out of is content. And for me, that's not the issue. I feel like content is not the issue. I feel like I could go on for episode after episode after episode of Everything Outdoors Oregon. But my tough part has been just trying to figure this technology out, and just microphones, and how and where do I film, and what kind of lighting, and all the things. And so I'm sure it's not perfect right now. Didn't expect it to be, but my goal is to fine tune things as I move on, and hopefully we can get this down to, you know, to where it is perfect, and I can produce some fun shows for people. And of course, a goal would be, you know, for people to be able to either text or email or whatever and ask questions, or if there's certain things that interest individuals, I would love to hear about it. You know, if there's a show that you or a topic that you would like me to do a show on, I would love to hear that, you know, and that way I can spend a little bit of time, do my research, see what it takes to, you know, let's say you're interested in mushroom picking, you know, well, I have no problem doing that, you know. It's been a minute since I've done it. I know they are absolutely wonderful and delicious when you've kind of get that figured out, but it's something I can do a research on to be able to produce a show and talk about that. So yeah, this is going to be a fun little ride. And I just real quick, just a quick little past about who I am. I already explained where I born and raised, but I spent a good portion of my life involved in the fishing industry. I ran a outfitter guide business called Northwest Trails Fishing Adventures. I had the opportunity to fish a lot of wonderful places with a lot of wonderful people. My target goal was, of course, you know, salmon, all the species of salmon that we have available to us in Oregon. Steelhead, of course, both summer and winter, and then the sturgeon fishery that I would say we used to have. Because we used to have some pretty incredible sturgeon fishing available to us here in Oregon. But those were my target species, and I was able to turn it into a full-time business, taking people, starting the first of the year on the calendar as a winter steelhead, drift boat trips down different rivers here in the Northwest, Nestucca, Wilson, Trask, Kilchis, Alsea a little bit. Just got to experience, Silet's a little bit, and then even close to home on the Sandy Ams a little bit later in the winter when we had some fish up in here. And yeah, we used to be able to catch some really, really nice big winter steelhead up here. Not saying they don't still exist, but it's not like it used to be. But and then I would roll my season into spring Chinook, like I described earlier, which is usually started, somewhere in late March and April and May. And then a lot of people kind of gave up on it, but about the month of June, things really kind of started to go crazy. And anyway, we just had a lot of opportunities there. And then I'd take a little bit of time in the summer off to do some stuff with my three wonderful children and my family. And then from there, I rolled into the buoy 10 season over in Astoria, and I would put in about 40 days over there, and a lot of those were 40 days just back to back to back, and that was just a real grind. But it's such a wonderful fishery, probably one of the best fisheries on the whole West Coast, as far as I'm concerned. When you have, some years close to 1 million or 500,000 or whatever salmon all funneling through one area in about a 30 to 40 day window. So some of those days were just absolutely lights out. And then, of course, when that would finish up, I would move down and fish some of the coastal fisheries, a little bit closer to home. Silet's was always one of my favorite. Nestucca was another great one for fall Chinook. And that pretty much got me to the end of the year. And of course, I would take some breaks in there, go join my father and brother and friends, and we'd go do some deer and elk hunting, and maybe slip out on a pheasant hunt or a duck hunt or something in between. But then grind right back or get right back to the grind on the fishing scene. So just was able to have a lot of fun. Like I said, met some of the best people. Some of my best times as a fishing guide it wasn't what we caught that day. It was the people that I was able to have in my boat, and some of them, God rest their souls, are no longer with us. Some of them still are, and I still keep in contact with and have a good friendship, have a good relationship with, and that's always fun to be able to talk about, remember when and what we caught and where we caught, and every now and again maybe have a disagreement whether it was 38 pounds or 35 pounds, and but anyway, yeah, we just had a lot of fun in the fishing business. And a lot of people always ask me, how come you no longer do? Why don't you fish? What got you out of the guiding industry? And at that time in my life, it was a lot of things. I would say mainly social media was coming on pretty strong, and there were a lot of tutorials being built to no fault of anybody. Here I am doing a podcast, you might as well join them. But a lot of things that we had worked so hard, trying to figure out where to go and how to go and what to use and when, and leader lengths and hook sizes and rods and reels and everything, and then pretty soon it just became pretty just general knowledge to people. And pretty soon, the old saying of what was it? 10% of the fish, or excuse me, 10% of the fishermen caught 90% of the fish. Well, that changed pretty quickly when all of a sudden, when here's all these how-tos, and in all fairness, it turned a lot of people into really good fishermen. And all of a sudden, the competition got real out there. And that wasn't why I got out. I didn't get out because of the competition. I just got out because there was, it was a time in my life. My kids were getting older, and it was just sports, and a lot of things were starting to happen, and it was just time to start to attend those events and enjoy life as maybe just more of an average outdoorsman, and get out with friends. And I've got a lot of guide friends in the community now. I could probably get on a boat just about any day I wanted to, with a phone call or two with some of my great guide buddies out there. So with that being said, it was the right time in life to put it away, and then I sold some boats, sold a lot of gear, sold a lot of things that I was just no longer going to need, because it was just so much that it took to be a fishing guide. So a garage full, let me tell you, a garage full, and freezers full of baits and stinky stuff, but made some great relationships with with a lot of vendors, a lot of product people. One of them, like this hat I'm wearing here, Procure. Those folks at Procure were very, very good to me over the years, and produced one of the finest, if not the finest, in my opinion, baits and scents. And they've just got that dialed as far as different smells and different things to help your catch, help attract fish. So that'll probably be something that we do an episode on down the road, is baits and scents, and then hopefully we able to get some once I get this a little more dialed in, get some guests, maybe bring in a couple of these guides here that I speak of, or maybe bring in somebody from Procure, maybe take my setup to Procure, do something with them. But yeah, we'll just see how it all goes. But right now I'm just really excited to get this intro. It's been several days of playing with technology and figuring out exactly how I want to structure this, finding out which mic works best and which recording device works best, and lights. But I had some great help from some great people who know how and who understand how to do all this stuff, and so that made a big difference. Having people chime in and say, don't use this, don't do this, do this. So hey, we all need a help here and there, right? A little pat on the back to push us along and to get us going. So with that being said, my goal is to make these around a half an hour-ish. Maybe if I've got a guest, if I've got a live guest, we may be able to swap some stories, maybe get some how-tos, some, figure out the way they do things. We may end up going a little bit longer, but I want this to be fun for people. I want people to enjoy what I'm doing here, and to just not make it too long, so maybe if you're just driving across town real quick, hey, 20-30 minutes, just a quick little listening here for me and about everything outdoors Oregon. So with all that being said, I'm going to keep this one short. Like I said, this is my intro. This is me saying, hey, putting myself out there. I've never been shy of radios or cameras or any of that kind of stuff, microphones. So this is the easy part to me. Like I said, I'm still working out the bugs with the technical stuff, but I think we're going to get it figured out as we go here today with our first little recording, and see what we get. So anyway, pretty excited, and enjoy the ride, and let's talk about everything outdoors Oregon. And thank you very much for listening, and I will see you next week.
Take me home.